Welcome to Teed Up Sports Podcast, your new go-to pod for sports, entertainment, culture, and humor. Today we talk about Andrew Luck retiring, Teed Up Fantasy Football League, Dwight Howard, and the NBA season win totals. I'm Leak and I'm teed up.
All right, so we are officially back in our studio. It's been some time. We were in a little budget studio, and we just recorded this podcast, but we had some issues with the studio, so we're going back to our old studio. How funny does that work? I guess you could say we retired from the new studio, similar to how Andrew Luck retired from the NFL. Andrew Luck, the Colts quarterback, probably one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the NFL, or was one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the NFL. He has officially retired from the Colts. This happened just about 2 days ago during a preseason game is when the news came out. This was completely unexpected. The Colts were the favorites to win the division. They were one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl. They just had a successful year. And Andrew Luck was, it looked like he was on the pace to be an MVP, or like he was going to be one of the MVP favorites heading into the season. The Colts just had a lot of hope written all over them. They made a push last year into the playoffs that was completely unexpected, and this is just kind of out of the blue. And the reason Andrew Luck said he was retiring on his press conference was basically due to injuries. He didn't find the game fun anymore. He just had to focus on his actual life and his mental health and the future of his body. And the reason, if you look at Andrew Luck's physical injuries and the toll that he's had on his body, this is the list. Torn cartilage in 2 ribs, partially torn abdomen, a kidney that left him peeing blood. His kidney got lacerated or something like that. 1 concussion, a torn labrum in his throwing shoulder, which apparently he said still was affecting him, and he couldn't really be himself with this labrum. That was the thing that really sent it over the edge. Mysterious calf issue, which that he's been dealing with recently. That was the one that pushed it over the edge, basically. And he just said he's sick of rehabbing. Every time he's had fun in the NFL, he's been thrown back because of injuries. And he said that he can't really find the true love for the game because of all these injuries. And it's really sad to see him go, because Andrew Luck definitely is. He's kind of one of the more I don't even know how to put mysterious quarterbacks in the NFL, because we all know he's capable of being great. Injuries have set him back so often, and his whole career as of right now, especially from him retiring, is just one big question mark. Malik, what do you take of Andrew Luck?
This definitely hit us by a storm. No one at all saw this coming, but I don't think he's in the wrong for this. I think he made a decision based on his health, and he had to do what he had to do. You heard Max, all those injuries, it takes a toll on your body. And at this age, he doesn't want to be 40 years old having the body of an 80-year-old. He doesn't want that.
And he's only 29 right now. So it's crazy because, we're obviously seeing more people retire from the NFL at a young age, but not quarterbacks, you know what I mean? Just because the quarterback position typically doesn't get hurt often. But, Andrew Luck, because of that bad O-line in years past, and just because of misfortune, to be quite honest, he's been injured consistently. This news came out, like I said earlier, in the middle of a preseason game in the third quarter. I guess Andrew Luck obviously didn't intend for that to happen, but I guess the news leaked somewhere, and all the big reporters and the media got a hold of it. So this ended up happening during the third quarter of a preseason game, and Andrew Luck's just casually hanging out, on the sidelines. I'm sure he plans on telling his teammates after the game or something like that. And the Colts fans ended up booing him. So do you guys think the Colts fans were in the right for booing him, or do you think that this was, Andrew Luck doesn't owe them anything, per se?
He definitely doesn't owe them anything. They obviously weren't in the right for booing him because they don't live his life. They don't have to go through what he had to go through. But, fans are going to be fans. They felt disrespected. They felt some type of way, and that was their reaction.
The fans absolutely, I feel like, you can't tell an NFL fan what to do. If a fan wants to boo, they're going to boo. Was it right? No, but fans are still going to do it. Personally, me being a person that has suffered from one of the injuries he has, which is his torn labrum, he's an NFL quarterback, and I'm a fucking a fucking nobody. So I mean, he has it a lot
It's
worse.
Worse than nobody.
He has it a lot worse compared to his shoulder than mine. And an injury like that just nags you every day with everything you do. Like if I smacked Max right now, the injury would probably hurt. So the things like that just always play a factor. So
Yeah.
One of the funniest things that I kept seeing, they reposted this after Andrew Luck retired. It was Andrew Luck is such a nice guy. It was him saying good hit from all the DBs.
Him getting fucked up.
And the comments were like, why would you post this? Like, this is the reason he's retired. But, yeah, I mean, in terms of the fans booing him, I think the fans, in the heat of the moment, put yourself in their shoes, and really think about it. It's the third quarter of a preseason game. You see him walking off, and you haven't heard his press conference yet. You don't know why he's retiring necessarily. You probably have an idea, but it's just not complete. You don't understand for sure why. You're at the preseason game. You're probably a diehard Colts fan, right? To be going to a preseason game, which is technically meaningless, you obviously care about the team a lot. And to see your quarterback, who finally last year really made a good playoff push and was, you guys were basically one of the best teams in the NFL last year, and this year you're expected to maybe not win the Super Bowl, but you're expected to be a competitive team. You're expected to win the division, that's for sure, make the playoffs, no doubt about that. And now your quarterback just quits on you. Technically, he's retired. You're not going to see from him next year and this year. How do you react? You're not going to clap for him. You're not really going to cheer for him. In the heat of the moment, you're probably upset. You don't know anything. You don't know any better about the situation. So, look, the Colts fans, yeah, they shouldn't boo him. Andrew Luck doesn't owe them anything. But in the heat of the moment, I mean, how do you? It's a sport. You're a fan. You act with emotions. That's what sports are all about. I don't know. I think the fans, they got a point for booing him. I would definitely be upset. And I said this on the last podcast that didn't actually go through. I said to Malik, what if Mahomes retired, Would you boo him? You'd absolutely boo him.
Bro, you can't bring that up again. Bro, that's completely different.
I guess I'm just saying, like,
if he went through all, well...
But they don't know they don't know why he retired at the heat of the moment.
Yeah, but like you said, I mean, I'm pretty sure he didn't want it to get out like that. It probably got leaked, something like that. Like, it's not like he was just like, all right, middle of the game, yeah, I'm done. You can go tell everyone. I'm pretty sure it got leaked. And Mahomes, bro, he won MVP last season. And if
Luck
he retires
was good last year.
Yeah, he was in MVP conversation, but look at all the shit Luck had to go through, all those injuries. Yeah. Like, it's not like we saw Luck playing another 10, 15 years. You can see Mahomes playing another 10, 15 years. Yeah, so it's like two completely different situations.
Nah, but I don't mean like Mahomes specifically. I'm saying like your team's quarterback retires. Even if stuff happened, like you'd be upset, especially like right at this time. It wasn't like he retired in, I don't know, July or like even May. He retired now. It's not like he retired after the Super Bowl. He retired 2 weeks
I would be pissed
before the season.
I would be pissed. I just wouldn't boo because I know, like, I have no right to boo. I don't live his life. I can't boo. I would be pissed, though. But booing is just like, look at the shit he did for you. I know he didn't win you a ring or anything, but, like, your team is relevant because of him.
Because of him, yeah. And the Colts are still paying him $24 million this year. They technically could have not paid him, but they're still going to do that. And I think this is a smart move by the Colts because if he does come back to the NFL, which is possible, we've seen it with Gronk, we've seen it with a bunch of other players. We saw it with that backup quarterback. I forgot his name off the top of my head. He retired and just came back. The dude who used to be the backup for the Jets.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about. He has like nice hair. Yeah, McCown.
Yeah.
McCown retired and literally came back like 2 weeks later. So that happens all the time in the NFL where people retire and come back. I don't think Luck is one of these cases. I think he's done for good. And if he does play, maybe it's in the XFL where his dad is.
He's done, bro.
Like, I really don't expect Andrew Luck to come back. But if he does, the Colts paid him while he's retired, basically. They're being nice. He spent his whole life with this team, essentially. So I'd expect him to return to the Colts if he does, and the Colts are being classy by still paying him. But I don't know. Let's talk about the Colts' future. Jacoby Brissett, Chad Kelly. Jarny, how do you feel about these guys? These are two guys on your list. One former Patriot, one...
It's just a guy.
One just
He's just
human.
a guy.
So Chad Kelly was drafted. I forgot which year. Chad Kelly was drafted, Mr. Irrelevant. He was the last pick in the NFL draft of the Broncos. I feel like he just got drafted as a favor to his grandpa. His grandpa's Jim Kelly. So definitely a legend right there. So actually, last year Chad Kelly actually got kicked off the Broncos over some crap that happened after Von Miller's party. If you want to research it, it's actually a funny story. But Chad Kelly has had a history of hiccups. He played for Eastern Michigan Community College, the show on Netflix. He was a great quarterback there. He went to Ole Miss, ended up being a very good quarterback. So Chad Kelly is a player that can get it done. It's just the fact that he's always in trouble.
I don't think so.
That is
He
always
really
the thing.
can't, though.
That, I mean, hey, we haven't seen him play. You guys don't even know who he is. So,
You just said he got drafted as a favor to his grandpa.
bro.
Yeah, right.
that
As
is
the
it.
last pick.
Bro, because he had so many problems coming out of college. He was one of the highly touted recruits for Clemson, and I'm guessing he smacked a coach or some shit like that.
This guy's.
He's an asshole.
Yeah,
Imagine your quarterback doing that.
If he smacked Frank
okay,
Wright-
if it's a DB, imagine a quarterback doing that.
Nah.
So yeah, but going back on him, he has an arm. He's very smart. He is mobile. But Jacoby Brissett is QB1. I'm very excited to see what Jacoby Brissett does. Jacoby Brissett has the talent to be a very good quarterback. I've heard that already, that he's an exceptional leader. So there's only good thing to come for the Colts. I hope to maybe one day see Chad Kelly come up to that QB1 spot, but if Jacoby Brissett's doing his damn thing, let the man do his damn thing.
You and no one else.
I thought Chad Kelly was the dude from Blue Mountain State.
I'm pretty sure,
Like for real, not even like as a joke. Like I actually thought he was the guy from Blue Mountain State. Like somehow had an NFL job.
Colts fans don't even want to see like Chad Kelly. He's too
First year
good.
playing, or the Colts?
Oh my
You're right.
god! But
We'll see.
Jacoby Brissett, I mean, I saw him on the Patriots, and he basically had a full season with the Colts as a starter. Jacoby Brissett's good. He's like a below-average guy. You know, he's a mobile quarterback. He's not necessarily like a Lamar Jackson type, but he definitely uses his legs. He has a decent arm. We saw him on the Patriots. He did his thing on the Patriots just like any quarterback would on the Patriots. Just that system is just too elite, obviously. But, I mean, you guys think Jacoby Brissett could take this team to the playoffs or anything like that? Or, I mean, they still have a ton of talent around, you know, the team. That's still got a crazy O-line, pretty good defense.
Yeah, when we first saw Jacoby Brissett, the O-line was still pretty bad. So I want to see him. I want to see him with a good O-line, a good defense. He has a good defense around him. He's a solid. His offense is pretty good. He has a solid team around him in general. I don't know if he'll take him to the playoffs. It's possible. I mean, it's possible, but I just don't think so.
This is just really crazy. I mean, this Andrew Luck news, like people were talking about on Twitter as one of the craziest things that happened in sports, just because it was so unexpected. You know, it wasn't like, was it the craziest thing that a quarterback retired from the NFL? Obviously not. But the timing of it, you know, the 2 weeks before the start of the season, Colts had the hype around them. You know, it wasn't like they were just some raggedy team that was going to go like 5-11. That wasn't the case. They were like favorites to win their division. So, honestly, really crazy news about Andrew Luck. We're going to see about his future. I think the chances of him coming back are slim, but hey, you never know. It's always possible, right? But speaking of retiring, Johnny's about to retire from this fantasy football league because we're about to kick his ass. The Teed Up Fantasy Football League is in full motion. 12-team league, PPR. We're excited about it. $50 buy-in. We're doing our draft like Thursday, so we're gonna come back on the next show and talk about who we drafted and how the draft went. Winner takes all, which is gonna be like $500 in profit, which is pretty good payout for this little podcast that we own. And second place gets the money back, so you know that big championship match is what everyone's looking for. But Johnny, do you have any sleeper fantasy picks that you want to give out?
Oh, no, I don't think I'm going to give mine out just yet, you know, because...
Keep it low-key.
Keep it low-key, going against these two bozos right next to me.
I wouldn't even take your pick, even if he was the
this pick is
last
probably
pick.
crazy, bro.
Earth.
Like, the amount of times I've beat you in fantasy football, that's
You
how
beat me
you're gonna
once.
continue.
You've literally beaten me once.
We've been playing
I
fantasy
beat you
football
twice,
since middle school,
and I beat you
bro.
twice. You beat me once.
Move
Other
it.
than that, we've never, Johnny. I beat you. The only time I lost you is when Odell's dumbass got suspended from the Josh Norman shit, and I lost because I lost by 6 points. Let's not forget that. And Odell just fucked me over. Other than that, I beat Johnny 2 years, not in a row, but I beat him 1 year. Next year I lost to like Will, and next year I beat Johnny again.
All right.
You know,
The problem about me playing fantasy with these clowns is that these clowns always get their teams. Something goes south, and these dudes just give up on their teams. Max, for example.
I had
last
Le'Veon
year-
Bell.
all right, but still,
No, wait. All right, last year, first of all,
Max
this
gave
league
up on
was
his-
Devontae
free.
gave
First
up.
of all, this league was free. It was Johnny's Plymouth League. I don't even know anybody else in the league because I didn't really care.
Cap.
That was your
What?
Plymouth League. I was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
It was your
No,
Plymouth
it
League.
wasn't the Plymouth
It was the
League.
Plymouth
Yes, it was.
Because we played in 2 leagues last year.
Yeah,
it was
and
the Plymouth League.
one of
He
the
gave
leagues
up
I got second. The actual league, the Stanford League with people we knew, I got second.
Yeah, the
I lost
Plymouth
to
League,
Dan in
he
the
gave
finals.
up on.
I got third that league, bro. So we
No.
got,
Oh, yeah,
I got third or fourth that
You got
league.
4,
Maybe.
yeah.
All right, but the
'cause
Plymouth
third
League-
was like
Plymouth
League, I got smoked.
second.
Okay, yeah, so that's you. But the Plymouth League, I quit because I got Le'Veon Bell. I had Gronk. Gronk was a nobody. I think Gronk was hurt, actually, last year. So I had Le'Veon Bell, Fuller, Gronk. I had another guy who was injured off the start. I think it was AJ Green. It was AJ Green.
yeah.
So I had literally nobody. And I still was trying. I was trying really hard. I had Philip Lindsay off waivers, I think. I had another guy who was like doing pretty good for me. I had Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry wasn't good until like week 12, which fucked me over. I didn't need him at week 12. I needed him like week 4. And so I started like, I was fucked. And I was still trying. I still got like 4 wins, which is pretty good for like, I had like 5. I didn't have 5 players, basically. 2 superstars.
Basically, these guys never finish their leagues out. So
That's not true.
I'm always the person that sees my teams through win or lose because I'm just that type of person. So
Well, we got the bread up. Now we got the $50 on the line. There's a lot to play for.
Hopefully this year with money involved, these guys can finish a league. But if they don't, I will definitely bring this back to this podcast because Max is the negative Nancy. And, as soon as one of his players fucking gets dropped over something, one of his quarterbacks gets hurt.
My whole team, bro. My whole team's fucked, bro.
I'll
my whole team is
I'll
fucked.
settle,
So
man. I'll
stay
find
tuned.
Fitzpatrick or something.
Fantasy football TU Sports
I actually had
Pod,
Fitzpatrick
it is coming
last year.
up soon.
You don't
Make
have
sure
any
you
sleeper
join.
picks? People are drafted.
Darius Guice is
Get
my
the
speaker. He coming off the torn
Bro,
ACL.
I said a
surgery.
sleeper pick, not a coma pick.
Coming off the torn ACL surgery.
Not a coma
Running
pick,
back
bro.
for the Redskins.
Yeah,
This guy
one
was
good preseason game. Now Johnny's like, oh shit.
No, because
I said a
these guys
sleeper.
weren't paying attention last year. Last year, walking out, he was top 5 running back. What happened?
He didn't
Tears
even
his
play
ACL
last year.
because he tore his ACL.
So how's he top 5?
Walking into last year, he was one of the top 5 running backs in the draft.
And he tore his ACL, so that's not the...
Tore
Oh, in the
his
draft. I thought he meant in the
ACL.
fucking league. I'm like, you stupid?
He hasn't
not even the
played
top
an
5
NFL
Redskin
hasn't
running
played
back,
an
but-
NFL game yet. So
Exactly.
he's coming back this year. He is one of my sleeper picks.
I really, man, as you guys could see, money is just being
workload-
handed out in this fantasy
sharing the workload
league.
with old ass Adrian Peterson, bro. Who do you think is gonna get most of the runs? Adrian Peterson? I don't fucking think so.
I don't think
Max.
so. I mean, the Redskins are going to suck no matter
Shut
what.
up, negative
Case
Nancy.
Keenum's the quarterback. Look, if Case Keenum, if anything on the Redskins is on your fantasy team, you probably are going to lose your fantasy league. That's not even a sleeper. That's a wide awake pick. just don't be involved with the Redskins. Just don't be involved with the Redskins. My sleeper pick is going to be Calvin Ridley. This guy is going to prove himself as a top 10 wide receiver this year. The Falcons play a lot of games in the domes and on turf, which is that's the Falcons' specialty, right? Is throwing the ball, lobbing the ball. And Calvin Ridley is like that sleeper guy, right? Everyone's doubling Julio. Calvin Ridley's stupid fast. Stupid fast gets a ton of touchdowns. Last year, he was like the GOAT for like 3 weeks. He was just absolutely killing it. He's getting a lot better. He got bigger in the offseason from what I noticed. So I think Calvin Ridley is going to be an absolute beast this year. That's my fantasy pick. I would take him, like, maybe not over like a real determined and proved wide receiver, but I'd take him over like as like your third guy. You know what I mean? You put him in the slot, he's probably going to put up just as much points as like a Adam Thielen or something like that. In my opinion, I think he's capable of that. So that's my sleeper pick. Malik, you got one?
My sleeper pick is McCole Hardman. I think he's... Bro, McCole Hardman, I think he's going to show up. I think if Tariq Hill fucks up this season, he's another speedster. I think he's going to, especially with Mahomes as a QB, I don't think he's going to do too bad. But I think he's going to be good for fantasy.
What about my boy Dame? He's not. I feel like he's going to kill it as a running back.
Dame? Nah.
Nah?
Nah.
He was doing good last year against the Seahawks. Damian Williams?
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to kill as a running back.
Wait,
I think he's going to be a solid. I think he's going to be a solid.
Hot take.
What?
Do you guys see Ryan Shazier coming back to football?
No, I don't think he can.
Why?
I don't see him.
Was that
coming back.
random or did
No,
something
'cause
just...
There's just a video of him like throwing around the football, and they're like, it's great to see Ryan Shazier walking.
Yeah,
it's great to see.
Yeah,
Good to see him walking,
How long are
not
they
playing
gonna keep him on
football.
payroll for, though?
Nah, yeah, I don't think he's coming back.
Yeah, that's
It's fun to see him walking again. And
Like, how long are the Steelers going to keep him on payroll for, though? Like, that's like
that is a good question.
it's like at what point is like it's just we're done being.
Juju's also a good sleeper pick, actually. While we're on,
He's definitely
it's
not.
Okay, it's not a sleeper pick. All right. It's not a sleeper pick. It's not a
Yeah.
sleeper pick. But he might be like the best player in fantasy. Like it's chance. So
I don't
that,
think
like
he will,
in
but
terms of that,
he could
it's,
be, yeah.
it's
I don't
like
think
very
he
possible.
Can be. I mean,
He could be like top 5. I'm taking Juju.
AB
Like,
is once
if
the
Juju's up there for me, I'm taking him.
So AB what?
AB was once the number 1 for fantasy.
AB
Yeah.
still is up there. I mean, I don't
AB,
know.
I don't even think I want to draft him.
To be honest,
I wanna go for the season,
AB,
find out,
he's
like,
scaring me, bro.
Find out like week 5, AB has retired because of some helmet shit. Like week 10, AB's feet have fallen off, so he can't play these last few games for me. Like I'm not drafting.
Nah, yeah, I'm
him,
scared
bro.
to even touch AB.
Fucking
Ty,
comical.
Ty? Are you joining this fantasy league though? You're kind of a question mark right now. You got any?
I might have to hop in that league. What is it, $50 buy-in?
Yeah.
Yeah, winner takes all.
Sure.
I might have to definitely get in that league. I think I'm gonna go ahead and join.
Yeah. Should I add you to the group chat?
Yeah.
All right, bet. So
Yeah,
if we get him in, we could probably ask Will. Will's been a guest on the show a couple times. I think Will would do it, even though I asked him I asked him in the group chat. He didn't really respond, but I think he would do it.
I got a buddy that wants it if he's.
We got a
We'll
lot of
probably
people.
do it if
We got
it wasn't for money. Well,
At
'cause
$50,
Will,
he would
but
do
Will
it.
knows he's gonna lose.
Ooh.
Nah, he might
You hear
actually.
that?
I don't know. Will when Will like watched football, he was.
He
nice
was
at
into it.
fantasy.
He was into it last year. He just
Yeah.
didn't do it. So I
What,
don't know.
football.
No, he's in a fantasy. Like because we were drafting, he was in the room. In other news, Journey, your Lakers got Dwight Howard. How do you feel about that? I mean, this guy has been pretty much a nobody recent for the past 5 years at least. Obviously, we recognize his name, but Lakers taking a flyer on him. You think he deserves it?
I mean, yeah, it's like our backs were against the wall. We needed a big man. Damn, Boogie Cousins is made out of machete paper, bro. Like guy.
Machete paper. He said machete paper.
Machete paper.
You said Jamies.
We even.
We got it. All right, so like Dwight Howard is of course now he's a nobody, but like once upon a time he was a household name. He was a superstar. Hopefully at his old age we can get him back to somewhere close to that with the Lakers. Hopefully it doesn't end like last time. I mean, there should be no problems here with Dwight Howard, Mr. Booty Brown himself. Like I don't know. Like, hopefully he does well, doesn't bring all that drama with his transvestite to the table, and hopefully he can perform for us.
Ty, what's your stats prediction on Dwight Howard?
I think Dwight Howard's gonna have a good season. I got him getting 13-9.
All right, I got him giving nice 8-5. I know. I just don't think he's that good. Just don't really like this. I don't really like this move, as with any of the Lakers' moves besides AD and LeBron, obviously. I think all of them are just kind of bad. This is just another one. We're going to have to see. Dwight Howard obviously hasn't been important. If his name wasn't Dwight Howard, we wouldn't even be talking about this, but it is. And Dwight Howard used to be one of the top 5 players for 6 years, and, obviously he's just had some struggles. But, Lakers, they're just pulling stuff out of the air at this point, as they typically do. Pull stuff out of a hat. Well, we'll see how this move works. We'll see how he pairs with LeBron, See if you got any hopes for him? You think he could do good, Journey? You think 13-5?
I definitely think he can do good.
Sheesh, I don't know. But let's get into the NBA over-unders. We got 3 over-unders for you guys today. We got the Sixers over 54.5, the Blazers over under 46.5, and the Spurs over under 45.5. Let's start off with Ty's Sixers. Ty, how do you feel about this 54.5? You think that's a little low for your Sixers?
I wouldn't say it's low. I'd say it's actually a little bit up there, but I think it being up there, they could still snag the over. The Sixers are definitely the best team in the East this year. Looking at the East, you got a pretty weaker conference. They went and added Al Horford and Josh Richardson, so they're a pretty tall team. Very good defensively, so I really like the Sixers. You got Ben Simmons shooting those threes this offseason. He's probably going to be able to bring that into this season. So I got the Sixers being the best in the East. I think they could definitely get 55 wins.
I'm going to take the under here just because there's some injury history with these guys. Al Horford, sometimes he's iffy with the Celtics. He's getting a little older. Joel Embiid's never really been healthy for a full season, doesn't even play back-to-back, so that's definitely something you got to consider. One game I remember specifics when they were playing the Bulls. The game went to triple overtime or something like that, and Embiid wasn't playing that game, and they just looked pretty lost without him. So the games without Embiid are a little bit tougher. They lost Jimmy Butler, replaced him with Josh Richardson and Al Horford, obviously. But Jimmy Butler won them games single-handedly last year. So I got the under here. I think it's just a little too high. I could see them winning 52, 51 again. Maybe even 53 or 54 on the dot. But I think 54.5, just a little too steep. But if they all stay healthy and they really play like a championship team, it's definitely possible.
They even got a really big emergence coming from Tobias Harris, too. Like, he's going to have a really good season as well.
We're going to ignore that. Malik, how you feel about this team?
He's going to play a huge offensive role for the team. He's going to be able to bring offense a little bit with them. They lost with Jimmy.
You would have thought Tobias Harris is prime Kobe.
Yeah, right? Like, I'm going to go with the over. Sixers are one of the best teams in the league. So, I got them winning maybe like 57, 50.
You got them winning 60?
No, not 60. Like 57, 56. That's a pretty good number for them. They're not gonna go under. It's just they haven't gone under. They won what, like 51 last year?
They didn't get better.
There's no Raptors in this year. Raptors will not be second seed. They had 58 wins last season. Who's gonna get those wins?
Yeah, and then the year before, what they have.
Take those?
They've been pretty constant the past couple years, so consistent. So they're going over, no question.
All right, let's get into the Trailblazers. Last year, Dame and CJ, they had, 53 wins or 52 wins, Ty?
Dame and CJ last season, they had 53 wins.
Yeah, so this total's pretty low for them based on last season, 46.5. Some things to consider, the West got a lot better. Last year, they kind of overachieved a little bit, but they also had Nurkic, who got hurt. And this year they added Hassan Whiteside, and they added Kent Bazemore off the bench. Kent Bazemore is like a decent little scorer off the bench to replace Seth Curry. So two things you got to consider with the Blazers there. I think this number's spot on. I wouldn't go either over or under. For the show's sake, I'm just gonna say under, just because I don't like the Blazers that much. I don't really trust CJ or Dame, but no, it's a close number. I could see them winning 46 games, 47 games. Anything under 50 and anything over 45 just seems about right to me. I don't think they're going to win over 50 games. I don't think they're going to win less than 45 games. That would be pretty crazy. So in that area, that's pretty accurate to me.
I'm going to go with the over. Blazers, they didn't really lose anyone besides, Seth Curry. He's not a big deal. No disrespect, but he wasn't a huge impact to that team.
Until the playoffs.
Yeah.
Then the playoffs, he was good.
A couple games, yeah. But they got Hassan Whiteside. I don't think he's going to be a big impact either, but who knows? Maybe this is the move he needed to, get his career started, kind of, which sounds fucked up. But
that's true.
Yeah, but they're definitely going to – I think they're going to go over. I don't see them going under 46. The West did get harder, but I think they could do it.
Ty, how do you feel about your Blazers?
I think 46.5. 46.5, I think that's just a little bit too low for the Blazers. They won 53 last season. You could definitely say they did more of them than what they were expected. But I say they could definitely get 48 wins. They got a good team coming back. They brought Hassan Whiteside. He's really going to be a hit or miss this season. But with Dame and CJ, those two together, a nice little combo. Dame coming off a hot season, sending out OKC last year in the playoffs. So we're going to see how that translates. I think they can definitely get 48.
All right, let's go into our final team, the San Antonio Spurs, 45.5. I actually bet this team on the over with our former guests, Kev and Dame. They think the Spurs are going to be bad. I'm the opposite. They got DeJounte Murray back. I think that's a huge, huge boost for this team. People don't realize he's actually a really skilled young guard, could play insane defense, could score the ball efficiently. Derek White last year proved himself. In the beginning, when he first became point guard of the team, he was kind of you couldn't really tell if he was good or not, but he started finally proving himself and showing that he was consistent in the playoffs, and that's going to be helpful, coming off the bench. DeRozan and Aldridge, to me, I don't think either of them are superstars by any means. Aldridge, there's games where he's just pretty bad. But the Spurs, they have their highs and their lows. When they're a good team, they're really good, but they also take some games off. I think this number is just pretty low for them. This team just wins games at homes consistently. Last year, I was doubting the Spurs when they started off slow, and they proved me wrong. And they're just a consistent team. They constantly make the playoffs. Popovich is on the team. And Jarny said earlier, with Tim Duncan as an assistant coach, that's something you got to consider with this team, and how helpful that could be. So I like this team. They're definitely not bad, and gotta show the Spurs some support.
I think Spurs going to go over strictly because of Pop. I mean, their team is solid. I don't really think DeRozan's going to do anything. No disrespect. I don't think Aldridge, he's just getting older, but he's still a bucket. He can still get the ball in the hoop.
He's still a bucket.
He can still get the ball in the hoop. He's kind of he's
like
an inside paint bucket. That's what he is. He can get the ball in the hoop. And Greg, that's just it's one of the best coaches of all time. I don't think under 45. I mean, Greg, I don't think he's going to let that happen. What you thinking, Ty?
Personally, the Spurs over 45.5. I got them going over. I think this is time we just stop doubting the Spurs. I think every year we always go into the year we doubt the Spurs, and they got Greg Popovich running their system. They're going to be a good team. We got the Mark Aldridge, who's 21-9 last season. He's crazy, mid-range in the post, down low on the block. DeMar DeRozan, he's actually a good passer for them last season to bring it back in. DeJounte Murray. I think this is a solid team, over 45.5. Certainly, they probably sneak in a 7th seed again this year.
All right. Let's get into our best bets. So we don't got any NBA season win totals on the best bets, but we got some baseball. Let's do a quick record recap. Johnny's 4-3. He's going to be betting the NFL soon. Malik's 9-5. Ty is 12-6. I'm 16-7. We won last week's bet on the Nationals. But this week, I got the Milwaukee Brewers minus 130. Like this bet a little bit. We're back at my man Gio Gonzalez, the lefty. He's just pitching at home today. The Brewers, they always have a good home crowd for these games. This is a very important NL Central game versus St. Louis Cardinals. And the Brewers, I mean, what can I say about Gio Gonzalez? He has under a 4 ERA, which is impressive in today's MLB standards. He's a lefty, which is pretty good against a lefty lineup in the Cardinals. He has good home numbers. He doesn't really give up that many home runs. His worst start was against the Twins recently, and the Brewers still ended up winning that game. But this is more so less of a bet on the Brewers per se than it is a fade of the Cardinals. The Cardinals have Adam Wainwright, who has just been absolutely abysmal this year. This guy doesn't even touch 90 miles per hour. He has absolutely no stuff. He just throws a horrible curveball. His fastball is basically a changeup. I feel like the Brewers hitters are just going to be all over this. I expect them to score at least 6 runs. I really don't see them getting anything lower than that. It would take one of the most impressive performances by Wainwright all season. He's just been really, really freaking bad. Minus 130 to me is a cheap line. The Brewers at home, tight NL Central game, must-win game for them essentially versus one of the worst pitchers in all of baseball. Trust Gio Gonzalez enough to take the minus 130 here, and hopefully you can improve to 17-7. This game's also on ESPN, so pretty helpful there. But thank you guys, as always, for listening. You could be sure to catch us on Instagram and Twitter at TU SportsPod. Also, don't forget to check out our sponsor currently, Bow Sports, BOW Sports on Instagram. He's been helping us produce some content. We got some big things planned with him ahead, hopefully. And, so check us out, TU SportsPod. Check our sponsor out, Bow Sports, BOW Sports. And as always, you can listen to us on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. I already said that. You can just check us out anywhere, basically. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can listen to us. And as always, guys, thank you for listening. I'm Brock, and I'm out.
I'm Leak, and I'm out.
I'm Jarny, and
I'm
out.
Ty, and I'm out.
We're everywhere and anywhere. I'm Jarny, and I'm out.